It's the middle of a workday for Lululemon founder Chip Wilson, and he and a business colleague are doing what's known in Vancouver as the grouse grind, a rigorous climb up a mountain. Wilson believes that a daily hit of athletic-induced endorphins gives you the power to make better decisions. This belief is one of several that make up the Lululemon Manifesto. It began when Wilson and his father penned a compilation of slogans and mottos that described their values and what was most important to them. It evolved into a defining document for Lululemon, words to live by for employees, and shared with customers who received a printed copy whenever they made a purchase.
We ended up putting the manifesto on bags, and the feedback that we got from the guest was just unbelievable, saying the manifesto spoke to me. It's on my fridge. I carry it around with me. I shared it with my kids. All these great stories about how the manifesto is really impacting people. The manifesto links all of our employees to who we are as a company.
Among other things, the manifesto plays a pivotal role in attracting and screening prospective employees.
When we look to hire new people, we look to the manifesto, because if that speaks to you, then what we do in every day, and sweat once a day and friends are more important than money, is really what the company's about. It needs to speak to people, otherwise I don't think that they're going to like working for Lululemon.
If people come in and talk about the bag and the quotes that they love, you've got a match. If they come in and they're hesitant, or there's something offensive about something on the bag, then you probably have somebody who's not going to fit in the culture. So even something as simple as that. So it doesn't take this whole screening process to figure out if you've got the right person.
As Lululemon built its management team in 2008, the company recruited Sherry Watterson to head up general merchandise management and supply. As the former president of Speedo North America, Watterson was familiar with Lululemon, but she explains it was the manifesto that convinced her to join the team.
I was so moved at the juxtaposition of being a real person and integrating your personal life with your work life, with business, that I was just quite surprised, and frankly, it got me quite emotional. I actually teared up when I read it.
Job postings on the Lululemon website describe the specific competencies required for a particular position, but also list must-haves that reflect the company's core values. They include the need to actively live and breathe the Lululemon culture and lifestyle. Candidates must have a sense of self-awareness and an egoless nature, the website states. All prospective employees participate in a group interview process where they're asked what the company's core values mean to them.
Then, of course, when we get into the training piece of it, we train people on what that core value means to that individual, and then how do you act and live within those? So what are the boundaries within that value? A perfect example is quality is a core value. When we train someone in production, they have to know exactly what quality means, and so what do they stand for in terms of the QC, and how do we report it, and who gets that information? What does quality mean to a designer? What does quality mean to an educator on our retail floor? So everyone understands how that value lives within their function. And I think a huge one, which has to be talked about, is the core value of fun.
You can't take yourself too seriously. Of course, there are moments where we absolutely do, and we have to behave responsibly as a public company. But at the same time, it makes it I think that's the magic of working here.
Some of the stuff that they've pulled in the last couple of years, I've just been like, wow, this is unbelievable. Like the one PR stunt where Chip was opening up. I think they were opening up the Robson Street store. The first 30 people who were lined up outside without any clothes on got to come in and got a free Lululemon outfit. And of course, there were a lot of people there who showed up naked, and there were a lot of people who showed up watching.
I think I've always been a little bit of a rebel my whole life, and so to be in a company whose mission is to keep a little bit of that rebel in there is a lot of fun, and I think that's what makes it so attractive for people to work here and or to be guests, is because it's a little irreverent. It's a little bit of fun while you're doing serious business, and that's what people love.
You can imagine you've got this wonderful little box around you. And in this box, this is your comfort zone.
At the Lululemon Training Center in Vancouver, new employees participate in what's known as foundation training. The program covers company history and culture, but the main focus is on each employee's personal development. Company founder Chip Wilson has been known to say that training people is more important than making money.
First off, I just felt if I took care of the person and their family and their community and trained them to be great at goal setting, at personal responsibility, at communication in their family, and they could see the results of that quicker, and then it would be impossible for them not to bring it into work. I just felt it was a better system.
Everybody has their own individual hedgehog, and we'd like people to start thinking about...
New hires learn how to create a hedgehog, an exercise that asks participants to identify what they're great at, where their passion lies in life, and how to make that work for them financially. The hedgehog exercise comes from Jim Collins' Good to Great. It's part of a collection of books that Lululemon calls its Success Library and encourages all employees to read. The biggest piece of the Lululemon training program is goal setting, teaching employees to have a dream and vision for their life. All employees are asked to draft 1, 5, and 10-year goals, and then the goals are shared, posted on the walls of the company's headquarters and in stores.
What we push our employees hard on is to really stand in nothing and say, if I can create my life from start to finish, how do I want to live it? If you train people to be successful in their life, and that means successful in their personal life, their health, and their career, then they come to work and they're successful people. It's not about having long-time goals with Lululemon and staying with us forever. It's about teaching them to be successful, and we are more than happy when people's goals are outside of our company.
Whether that is, a goal to run a marathon and really achieving that on your own, or if it's choosing, to run a successful business. It could be as small or as big, but being truly accountable, attracting greatness, and being committed to it. And when you have a group of people who are all on board and sign up for that, you're going to get somewhere faster. So the velocity of getting towards your goals increases, and it's just inspiring.
Even members of the board of directors participate in the goal-setting exercise.
At first, people are thinking, okay, this is crazy, right? I'm going to put my goals together, and then I'm going to post these on the walls at the headquarters for everyone to see. And, getting past that at first, but then when you go to the headquarters and you see a sea of goals all over the wall, you realize that if the board weren't doing that as well, that you'd be out of step with the company.
They're starting to goal set. Like, we're trying to bring some of the tools that we use here
What happened in our stores between our educators, they talk about what their goals are and how they're doing and how to support each other. They don't talk about the party they went to last night and what they wore. So, when our guests come into the store, they get the experience of somebody who's excited about their life and passionate about what they're up to.
And I think that when we have an organization of 3,000 people that are all striving to be better at where they are today, makes a very successful organization.
The landmark training is a beautiful way of understanding how to free yourself to be in the moment all the time and to create the most amazing outcomes. So the first landmark forum is about closure with your past so that you can be present and start creating a future that's not dragging your past along with you. So it's something that's unique. And then your second landmark training is about creating that future in a very specific way.
It's really human effectiveness training and about empowerment and accountability and figuring out what your personal barriers are. And people bring themselves to work. And if you don't create an environment where people are accountable for themselves, you don't get the best of people. And really that's for us a big part of the training, whether it's the goal setting or it's landmark. It's about being an effective human being in the workplace and taking responsibility for your relationships and for the goals that you set inside the company as well.
We never check anybody's time when they come in and out. Everything's done by, did you get the job done by the time you said you were going to do it by and under the conditions of satisfaction. And I think it's allowed people to be creative.